Hello, ladies and germs, and welcome to this. This is PWME news for the 31st of January 2016. And what a dead day it's been for the news. And I tell you what, I hope I haven't jinxed that. I swear to God, if I go online now and find out someone's passed away, I'm going to be the most embarrassed, humiliated sack of shit on the planet. But it's been quite a dead day today. I mean, you've got, re-signings from Ring of Honor. You've got an NXT star potentially injured. I mean, when you look at the news and two tough enough participants debuting on an NXT live event is part of the top four, that's when you know it's been a slow day. Just in a few hours ago, though, Shinsuke Nakamura will be heading to the Performance Center in a week or two. I think I might have even said he's going to start training maybe even tomorrow. I didn't really see that or catch the end of it, but I'm taking my sources from ProWrestling.me, which I posted myself. I did 4 articles. Head over to ProWrestling.me there and check those articles out. Sign up is completely 110,000% free. We've even got some comments I'm going to read, and if you have any opinions or thoughts on what I'm breaking down in this show, put in the live chat and I'll get to them. And if you watching this on demand or archived or on the video section of the KocoSports.net YouTube channel, then I'll get to your comments after the show. Via YouTube gimmick or maybe Snapchat. I don't know. I tried the Snapchat gimmick to answer some live comments, and it was a bit weird because obviously one of the person had the Snapchat and the other one didn't, so it was kind of really strange and awkward. But anyway, but another bit of news is Lucha Underground has been announced that it's definitely returning for a season 3. That gets me mighty excited. I've been praising Lucha Underground all week. I've been blocked by a W superfan for putting it over so much because they put that Raw was #awesome. Can't wait for Fastlane, blah, blah, blah. I said, hey, look, you should check out at Lucha El Rey, #Lucha Underground. I got blocked. So apparently in modern day society, you can't tell someone hey, you should watch this because I think you'll enjoy it. Hey, that's 2016. You just get used to it. Also, tonight, there's going to be a LK versus DK, and we're going to talk about weight when it pertains to pro wrestling, and are you in shape? Should you be in shape? Talking all that, and I'm looking forward to that to bring Coco on the show. Fingers crossed the son of a bitch turns up. Also tomorrow you'll have the Monday Night Raw review. I'm going to do a main event review after this show finishes, unless Coco brings up early, which I highly doubt. I'll be on the Monday Night Raw review. Tuesday I'll be having off because I'm going to Birmingham to watch Shinedown. Wednesday I'll be back for the weekly NXT review, depending on how late I get back from the trip, because Birmingham, from where I live, is a very long distance. But anyway, let's get to the news. And Lucha Underground season 3, I'm so happy, I'm so pumped because they're taping today the season finale. So basically they had a meeting with the talent and it was confirmed that Lucha Underground will be back for a season 3. So we start with some good news, and let's get down to some bad news now, as we have NXT star Ty Dillinger potentially injuring himself at a house show last night, and it was very scary. And if you head over to ProWrestling.me and then you scroll down a bit, the article is called NXT star potentially injured. If you click it, there's an embedded Twitter video of the accident. What happened is Sami Zayn went up for a brainbuster. Ty Dillinger went to land on his feet, and you just see his leg buckle on him. It looked really bad. It looked absolutely disgusting. I swear to God, I hope he's okay. And I might not be the biggest Ty Dillinger fan, but yeah, I feel for the guy. I mean, he's been in developmental now, and NXT is still developmental to me, even though it is considered a brand, but it's still developmental. At the end of the day, calling a spade is still developmental. You know, and the guy's been there forever. I mean, he did Jason Jordan, then he did the solo, and now he's got the perfect 10. He's starting to build some momentum. I mean, over here in the UK, he was over something rotten. The 10-10-10 gimmick was hitting the roof for some strange particular reason. But anyway, it was. And then he gets injured. Is this the last we see of Ty Dillinger? Would he come back, rejuvenated, come back with the perfect 10 gimmick? Would he come back with a new gimmick? Or would he give up? I mean, from what I've seen in Breaking Ground, it looks like he really loves it there, and he's an important part of the Performance Center. And he is a good worker. And not get me wrong, he is a good worker. I have nothing against him. It's just I have no emotional attachment, no emotional investment towards the man. Okay, so that's the first bit of news. I'm going to get down to some live comments if we have any. 2 likes, 0 dislikes already. Oh, I'll take that. Live chat's none. What an absolute dick. No, that's embarrassing. Get a live comments, there isn't none. Anyway, that being said, so there's your first bit of news. And what if that's the case? If there is no fucking comments, then I'm just going to get this done and dusted, Julia rusted, and I'm out of here. Because I tell you what, it's been a long night, it's been a long day, but I'm going to get to rocking and rolling. Also, Ring of Honor re-signed several big stars. That's being the world champion Jay Lethal and Red Dragon, which is Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, which is good news for Ring of Honor, especially with the 14th anniversary pay-per-view coming up, which I talked about on the Ring of Honor review that I did 2 days ago. So go check that out if you haven't already. How it's going to be Kyle O'Reilly versus Jay Lethal versus Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor World title. And also, because of, the contractual obligations with Nakamura, so Nakamura can't be at the 14th anniversary show. Tanahashi potentially seriously injured, even though he competed at the New Beginning show, the Road to New Beginnings, on January the 30th. So fingers crossed that Tanahashi can make his match, because it's Tanahashi and Michael Elgin versus the Briscoe brothers at the 14th anniversary show. So fingers crossed he can make it. If not, shit happens and you die. And at the end of the day, Ring of Honor is, in my opinion, the best wrestling company in the world, because it's wrestling in its purest form. It's two guys, sometimes four. They have the best tag team division in the world. It's thriving. You look up and down their roster. It's just, I'm interested. War Machine, I'm interested. Addiction, the Kingdom, Young Bucks, Red Dragon, Alexander. It just goes on and on and on of just phenomenal teams from top to bottom. That whole roster is absolutely out of this world. So it's good seeing Red Dragon stay. And it makes logical sense. If I'm Red Dragon, I'm thinking, okay, I'm still making good money with Ring of Honor. I can still go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, because obviously the New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor kind of connection deal gimmick they got going on there. So they got that going on. And if I'm Red Dragon, if I look to the WWE, which is maybe where they're thinking, and I look at the tag division, you got the New Day, the Usos, Ascension, Dudleys. Like, you haven't really got many teams. Whereas if you stick with Ring of Honor, you're guaranteed to be on TV all the time. You're guaranteed to be on pay-per-view all the time, because it's such a thriving division, and they're always going to be a part of that. Also, world champion Jay Lethal, he's staying with Ring of Honor. That makes sense. Doesn't want to go back to TNA. That's common sense. If he stays with Ring of Honor, if he wants to pursue New Japan, he can. Maybe he will. But he's doing a good job on the Indies, because I remember he was over here in the UK a few weeks ago, and I know he's for Rev Pro. He was at High Stakes. He went one-on-one with some guy. I can't remember. I do apologize. I'm in the middle of watching High Stakes at the moment. I can fucking get my notes up. I'm up to the Colt Cabana versus Doug Williams. So maybe in the next week, or maybe two, depending on obviously, because I'm going to Birmingham, depending on that, there'll be a Rev Pro High Stakes. So if you're interested in UK independent wrestling, stick around for that. So good for Jay Lethal, good for Ring of Honor, obviously securing their world champion, because you don't want to see your world champion fuck off. And, Lethal, he's getting to the age now where, does he want to go to WWE? Who knows? But that's his choice and not mine. I'm going to break down some house show results, because that's how dead today was. It's obviously on the 30th of January, which is yesterday, in Macon, GA, maybe Georgia, maybe Gainesville. I have no fucking clue. You had Ryback and the Usos defeat the New Day, because why make your tag team champions look good? Tyson Neal defeats Stardust. And when I read that, I was like, oh, of course it is. Of course it is. Because on this show, I come in here and I say that Tyson Neal defeats Stardust. Tyson Neal defeats Stardust every single goddamn show that has WWE in the title when it pertains to a review. So we have Tyson Neal defeating Stardust as usual. You had the Hype Bros defeating Los Matadors. That's very interesting, seeing Batty, Zack Ryder, and Mojo Rawley. I'm out of shape in the main roster when it comes to the live events, and I hope that's not a sign of things to come. I hope that they aren't on the main roster for much longer on the house shows. I don't want them on the house shows. Don't want them on main event. I don't want them on Superstars. Don't want them on Raw. Don't want them on SmackDown. I don't even want them on NXT. I don't want them having jobs at all. And if there's one thing I could do in this world, that would be to fire both these men. Because Zack Ryder, I think, is a no good son of a bitch and a waste of oxygen. Well, that's a bit far, but he's a waste of time. Mojo Rawley's out of shape, and we will get on to that. Trust me. Coco and myself, we're going to have a nice little rant. If you see my boy behind me, Magnus, in top prime condition, because he's a professional wrestler, which means he's a paid athlete. So he works out like a paid athlete. I could go on, and I don't want to go on. I don't want to go on because I'm going to save it, because I know I'm going to blow one. Then we had IC champ Dean Ambrose defend and retain against Kevin Owens. Our Truth and Damian Sandow defeating Heath Slater and Curtis Axel. My boy Axel on the road. I'll take that. Charlotte defeating Paige and Becky Lynch, and Roman Reigns defeating Rusev to retain the World Championship. Like Rusev was going to win it, and like a championship's going to change hand on house show. It's not 1999 where anything can happen. I'm going to go to some live comments, because I see we've got a good viewership numbers when it comes to PWME news, and it's going to be a daily segment / gimmick, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Here we go. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho versus Kalisto versus Neville, WrestleMania 32 US title. That's from Racers Fan Rock S4. That's in my opinion, I don't want to touch on this, because I think I might do a fancy booking show of WrestleMania 32 closer to the time, or maybe after Fastlane or before Fastlane, or maybe doing a dream booking of my Fastlane to WrestleMania. But either way, I think that could be a great match. But I think we're going to get, in my opinion, I'll have Jericho go for the IC title. I'll have Jericho versus Dean Ambrose, because he could tell the story of Jericho wanting his 10th Intercontinental Championship, be that record-breaking first time in the double digits. I think that could be very interesting. Styles versus Neville could be an interesting one, or Kalisto. Or maybe, yeah, you could just, have Kalisto retain and then have Styles versus Kalisto. Or Styles, Neville, Kalisto, have Neville win the US title at Fastlane, then go down Neville, Styles, Kalisto. I don't know, but Good shout. And then Rick 1982. Hello, okay. Your thoughts on New Japan signing Will Ospreay? Yeah, that could be part of the news. That wasn't really mainstream, but it's part of the news. I'm a big fan of Will Ospreay. I think it's what New Japan needs when it comes to their junior heavyweight division. All due respect, because their division isn't really that strong. There's just no wrestlers there. You got Omega, Kushida, Ricochet, Seidel when he's over there. So it's a bit of fresh life in there in Will Ospreay. And I think Will Ospreay is one of the most talented, most underrated performers in all of professional wrestling today. And it's good to see Will Ospreay. I mean, I saw him in Reading at the New Japan or Revolution Pro Wrestling Super Show they did at Global Wars 2015 for obviously that. Then we had 2 women contestants from the latest series of Tough Enough made their NXT debuts at house shows, which was in Venice, Florida. It was Sarah Lee and Mandy. I'm going to say Mandy looks very, very, very attractive. Very, very attractive. You got Sarah Lee there. She just looks she looks okay. More of a blonde guy, but if you go to pricing.me and then at the top of the page, it will say 2 Tough Enough contestants debut at NXT house show. If you click that, there's photos of their ring gear and what they're wearing, and both look very attractive females. But the match was Sarah Lee, Liv Morgan, and Laya defeating Mandy, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce. So there you go. So that has it. The 4 little stories that I had. You also got Lucha Underground returning for the 3rd season. We got Shinsuke Nakamura coming to the Performance Center very soon, and also Will Ospreay heading over to New Japan. So I think that could do it. This could be the very shortest edition of PWME news that there will ever be in the history of PWME news. There's just nothing to talk about. And I'm gonna refresh the page to see if we have any more live comments, and if we don't, then we don't, and I'll happily move on. 3 likes, 0 dislikes. I'll take that. We got one more. Rick 1982. Dream matches you would love to see in the future that never happened yet. If obviously, I don't know what you talk. If you talk about, I'll go through the lot. Okay, so if you're looking at NXT, obviously you're looking at Nakamura versus Sami Zayn is one I want to watch. I don't know if we've seen that with Nakamura and El Generico. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but I haven't personally seen it. I'll be very interested. When it comes to WWE main roster, I would love, and I mean love, an AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins match. I think that could be very, very good. TNA, that means I'd have to watch it, so no comment. Ring of Honor, I don't know. Who could you? Roddy Strong versus Adam Cole. I don't know if we've seen that. That could be a good match. I'm not really sure. New Japan, obviously Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, or Will Ospreay versus Kushida. I saw Will Ospreay Okada. That was absolutely magnificent. So either way, there's a couple of dream matches for you. But it's kind of hard because so many dream matches happened, and it's so difficult when people have wrestled here and then they wrestled there for a certain time, and they wrestled here, and there's flip flopping all over the place. So yeah, that's a good question. Though. Thank you for sending in the questions. Going to refresh the page one more time. We got 4 likes now. Every time I refresh, we're getting a like. I might just keep standing here refreshing. No, that's going to do it for live comments. Like, comment, subscribe. KocoSports on that. That's KOCO Sports on. That's where the world goes to kick ass. Home for combat sports and above all. It's okay to be a passionate fan. Make sure you sign up for ProWrestling.me. That's ProWrestling.me. 110%. 1000% free. Twitter at LK Wrestling, Snapchat LK-PWE. That being said, this has been LK. Stay safe, stay well. Have a great Monday. Don't shoot yourself after or before, and I'll catch your asses down the line.